been playing golf for 20 plus years and I've only just figured out how to hit longer golf shots, straighter golf shots, hit more greens in regulation, and of course, lower those scores. Hi everyone, my name's James and welcome back to Get Good at Golf. Today we're going to have a bit of a live practice session because I was in the doldrums not long ago with my golf game. I was struggling, the strikes were terrible, and to be honest, I wasn't enjoying it. And that's a place where if you've ever been there, why do we play golf? We play golf for enjoyment. So today we're going to have a bit of a practice session. We're going to hit a load of shots. I want to talk you through how I now have a better understanding of how my wrists should work when it comes to the golf swing. These are the kind of shots that I've been hitting recently, and I've actually understood now a lot more. So we've got a flag out there at 170 yards, and I'm hitting an A-tie, and we're using the hack motion device. And for me, I used to think that if I wanted to hit good golf shots, I had to be like Dustin Johnson. I had to be like some of the world's best players and get that wrist bowing at the top. I had to get it flexed at the top of the backswing. Now, for me, that doesn't work for my golf game. And there's an old adage, swing your swing. I believe Jack Nicklaus once came out with that. And I actually believe it now because I have to do the complete opposite to hit good golf shots. I'll hit you another one and Chris will show you the hack motion figures, because for me to hit a good shot, I have to feel as though when I take the club away, I do the opposite with my wrist. I get that wrist extending at the top here, so I actually cup it just a little bit. Now, when I first started doing this, and I first started doing the drills on hack motion, by the way, guys, if you want to check out hack motion, check out the link in the description below. Go and have a look. It just helps the channel a little bit, and it helps us help you get good at golf. But I used to think that would make me leave the club face open. But it's actually not the case, because if I do this properly, I can hit the ball harder, I can get better shaft lean, and I can start to hit much more consistent shots. You'll see that's a carbon copy of the first shot. It's flag high just to the left, it's pitching 160 yards, it's running out to 165 yards, and it actually looks like a good impact position. If we have a look at the camera here and we can see exactly what we're looking at, we can start to see just how good this golf swing is looking. I'll slow this down now so you can see it a little bit slower, but my transition's a lot better, my sequence is a lot better, and I'm actually turning a lot better as well. The reason why I'm doing this is because I can now think, right, I can hold my wrists in a position that actually helps me, don't you love a live practice session, that helps me, there we go, my analyst, we're on 8 iron. That helps me square that club face up more, because it's okay hitting the ball harder, it's okay hitting the ball further, but if you're not squaring that club face up, if you're not thinking about what the wrists are doing in conjunction with the club face, then you're going to struggle. So for me to feel like I'm doing the exact opposite of what I was doing is quite, or what I was trying to do even, is quite the thing for me to hit more consistent shots. You'll see again, that's a carbon copy just to the left, again pitching at 160, releasing up to 165. So the consistency is now there, the numbers are exactly the same, the club head speed's the same, the ball speed's the same. We're even getting pretty good spin rate on these shots as well, to say that we're using the Tacoma 101T for this practice session, spinning at over 6,000 RPM. So that now becomes more of a, you know what, I can take this out onto the course, I can take this to a place where I don't have to think about, I've caught that one a little bit heavy, but it's still carried 155 and releasing up to 160. And I have to have a swing thought when I'm playing golf. I'm sure a lot of you guys are pretty similar, but if you don't have a swing thought, then what do you think when you're under pressure, when you stood on a tee, when you're playing against one of your friends, when I'm playing against Chris, against Gaz, against, I'd say Brett, but generally I do get the upper hand of Brett sometimes. But consistency now, if I can keep hitting the same shots, and I feel like I go through a really good practice swing to get myself in the position. And it's like, I've never really had practice sessions where I stand here and hit uber consistent shots like we are doing here. You can see the ball flights are exactly the same. You can see that we're hitting the green pretty much more times than not. But the thing I'm more happy with is that constant head speed, that constant ball speed, that constant carry distance, and even the spin rate to some extent, where you can miss-hit it and it still goes that straight. To be able to hit a bad shot that goes that straight is quite ridiculous. And I'm not saying that this is going to give me the perfect golf swing, but you can see there that I've pretty much shanked it straight. Have you ever seen one of those?
It's a good effort.
It's a really good effort. And If I'm trying to keep the ball more in play, the numbers were still not bad actually on that either, apart from the distance and the strike. But if I'm trying to keep the ball in play here, I can actually start to think about a lot less and still produce really good golf shots, still produce really good numbers. And we're going to get an average in a second of all these shots that we've hit, because I keep hearing that little tick, and for me, that's that constant feedback with the hack motion device that I'm doing what I've set out to do. I'm achieving that position at the top of the backswing and the impact that I know is going to help me gain that consistency. And a lot of times I always think about how productive is your practice, because often when I come and practice, it's not that productive. That's a pretty similar number, again, just down the left-hand side of the screen. If you don't have productivity in your practice, it all becomes a little bit pointless. So then you just start hitting balls. And if you start just hitting balls in your practice sessions, what happens when you go out on the golf course? You're basically just hitting balls around a field with no real common goal. So, Chris, how many more do you want?
2 more.
2 more for the average. Oh, that was one of the best ones. See, I really felt that was nice. I felt like I've kept in my posture there. 155 carry up to 160. The consistency levels are feeling really good. And that feels like such an alien move to me, but I feel like I can really turn and get down into the ball with a square club face there. So, 1 more. And let's take a look at those averages, Chris, because I think I've done pretty well there in the consistency levels, looking at that dispersion on the left-hand side of the screen as well. Couple of ones left, but mainly really happy with that. So Chris, how have I gone on?
So you'll see on the app just at the side of me here, it's going to go through a diagnostic for James here. So it's saying that he's actually got 2 extenders. So the theme throughout it was he was perfect at the top. So there you go, James.
That's what I've been working on.
Perfect at that position here. So James has done a lot of drills working on getting that feel right there. So getting away from that motion there and getting a lot more neutral, if anything, feeling like it's cooked at the top. So from there, James has obviously hit a lot of shots left. So we would instantly think there straight
See, to me,
away,
that's not left though. Like, I'm...
No. Left of the flag, but that would still be well inside tour averages. But the only reason it was left is because of a little bit of alignment. He's hit good shots there, the numbers were good, obviously his wrist angles were good, he's squared that up, so he's done exactly what he's wanted to do. But obviously when James was playing a little bit of bad golf, he was getting those ones that maybe overslide. So his tendency is to move his alignment a little bit left. But if anything, now down at the ball, he is a little bit too extended. So again, we might see that that club face is a little bit open, we might see a little bit of cupping there. So what we're going to do is we're going to get James to hit a few more now, and from the top we know it's perfect, but then on the way down we're just wanting him to maintain that angle.
And you see, the interesting thing about that is when I hit the second shot out of the 10, I actually spoke about getting more forward shaft lean, and that was definitely the longer shot, and it might have been one of the better shots as well. So if I feel like, again, using this hat motion device, I get myself to the top, it feels like I'm a little bit cupped, and as I move down through the swing, and we've just done a video on Get Good at Golf about sequence, make sure the sequencing's right from the lower body, and feel like that club almost just wants to bow a little bit through impact. Now, I'm looking here for a little bit of feedback. I'm not looking to hit the perfect golf shot every time, because again, this is a practice session and that's not what practice sessions should be about. But can I get those wrists almost transforming on the way down? You see that's gone a lot lower, and I'm going to say that's gone a lot further as well. It's still gone a little bit left. That one's pitched at 163, so we've picked up 7 or 8 yards there just by working the wrist a little bit better. I'll hit a couple more, then we'll say what the app and the feedback's telling me through impact. There we go. See there, I've turned my body quicker, Chris, so I can allow the club face to do what I wanted it to do. 160 carry, again, that's a little bit straighter as well, so that's what we're looking for. But if you are thinking about what your wrists are doing, it's very, very handy to have a device like Hack Motion that you can practice with, but you also need to know what the body's doing at the right time. So if I try and turn that lower body even quicker and get my alignment sorted there, Chris, that's a draw. How good is that? That's so much better. That's starting right and coming round to the left.
Yeah, exactly. So it's now starting online. This is where it's matching this up. So the hack motion gives us good feel and
Club
feedback.
path. Club path. For me, that's massive. But also having the club face, it says closed, but let's be fair, 1.4 degrees. That's like perfect, isn't it? That's exactly what I'm trying to do. If I can take that into my game, it's another one, that's drawing as well. Club path 0, club face 0.2, and again, pitching at 163. I love it when I have a Eureka moment. I love it even more when it's on camera so you guys can see it. Like, we look at these numbers here. We've got 89 club head speed, 118 ball speed, spin of nearly 7,000 with a really forgiving iron, and again, pretty neutral club path and club face, which is why we've hit shots, and we've got shots now in the green over on that average. So, guys, if you want to check out Hack Motion for yourself, it's linked in the description below. And for me, I think this could be a bit of a game changer to finally get good at golf myself.